Welcome to the Mindset Medicine Podcast. I'm Katharine Loucaidou, a real estate coach, a broker owner of a real estate team, and someone who has been coaching and training people for over 26 years. Mindset Medicine, we are going to be talking about real estate, business mastery, mindset, momentum, marketing, branding, growth strategies, and shifting your mindset to align with your goals and dreams of creating that big, beautiful life. Real quick, before we dig into today's episode, if you've been enjoying the podcast, can you do me a favor? Rate and review the show. It would help to get it in front of other people. Thank you so much. Now, let's get started. Welcome back, everyone, to Mindset Medicine. I am Katharine Loucaidou, and I am a broker owner. I'm a real estate coach and just an all-round interested person in people, what they do, why they do it, and really what drives people's motivation. And I have a very special guest today. She is a friend. She is a colleague. She is someone who I met years ago, and we just hit it off right away. Her name is Leah Ackerman, and she is based in Columbus, Ohio. She is a phenomenal force to be reckoned with. And the reason I brought her on today is because she has a really great story of making some changes in her positions, making some changes around the real estate industry. And I would like you to hear from her that anything is possible when you have an intention. And you've had all kinds of wonderful intentions since you got into this. So welcome, Leah, back
Thank
to
you.
There's been a hiatus of the show, but thank you. So you are my first guest back after a hiatus that I took for about a year. And I'm really glad that you're gonna kick this off, because I am in awe of everything that you have done in such a short period of time. When you have rebranded, you've done so much, but why don't we just go back to wherever you feel like starting this particular story?
Okay. All right. Well, first, thank you. It's an honor, my dear friend, to be with you today. And I guess I should start with what I did prior to real estate, and that was title insurance. So born and raised into the business. Our family had their own business and did all parts of it. We lived 2 hours north of Columbus, moved to Columbus with our family. Our kids were little, and did the title thing until 2012, when my current broker reached out and said, "Hey, I want you to take your title hat off and put your real estate. Let's try this real estate thing. And we'd love for you to join the company, be a part of the leadership, and help us grow in the Columbus market." So it was 2012. I had a time to think about, do I want to do title for the rest of my life, or, switch gears a little bit and go into real estate? So the one thing that really sticks out with me during that time when I processed, should I do this? What am I thinking? And it was, I didn't want to be in my rocking chair when I was really old and think, you had an opportunity to do something different. I mean,
I got the shivers when you said that, because I live by that mantra.
Yes,
I live by it.
yeah.
Yes.
And, it was just an opportunity that I could do title with my eyes closed. I mean, and I still can, it's changed, but it's still all about taking care of people.
Yeah.
And, the knowledge that I got from all those years in the business is invaluable. And it truly has helped me be an amazing realtor. And so 2012, I did the leadership. I was recruiting. I actually met John Cheplack during that time, and that's when I met you. And the friendship was formed pretty quickly, definitely with us. And to watch John and everybody really from that small group evolve is so cool. And I feel blessed to.
And I'd love to interject here, because I think this is maybe some of the mistakes that people make, is that it's okay to be in a room with people who don't do exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Like you were in management and recruiting. I was at the time a broker and moving into my own brokerage. And so, and we're in different countries
Yeah,
and you're in
yeah.
one state and I'm in a
Right.
province, but it doesn't matter because the
No,
foundation of everything that we were talking about and understood about everything was just about people and the
people.
mindset behind business, you know?
Yes. Yes. So from 2012, did the recruiting. And then in 2018, it really, I think life shifted. And one thing that as I evaluate my time on this earth, I realize there are times when we need to make a shift. And when you start feeling, and I was feeling this, that I wasn't myself, there were times that people, would ask me for things I was managing. And it no longer became fun. It was like, I really need to decide what I want to do here because life's too short.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was bad. It just I changed. I evolved.
Yes. Yes.
And that was I'll never forget it. Todd and I were together, my husband, and I said, I just don't think this is for me forever. I really want to focus on real estate and title consulting. So in 2018, I took off my manager hat with Cutler and stayed, with the same brokerage and just decided that I'm going to do something on my own. And I always had a side hustle throughout my life. I've owned a boutique. I've done stuff to just continue to grow. And I think what I found now after COVID and going through that process, I am flourishing. And it's because of the changes that we all had to make during COVID. So in 18, I started a consulting business in title insurance.
So let me stop you there for a
Yeah.
moment because I think
Yeah.
a lot of people may be wondering, and for anyone listening, feel free to message in or to comment if you're watching this on video. How are you feeling when that gut feeling finally was loud enough for you to hear it? Because that's
Mhm.
usually what it is. It's there, but then it becomes so loud that you can't
Yes.
ignore it.
Yes.
How were you feeling at that point? Was it fear? Was it you know, because I find there's like this gamut of emotions
Mhm.
from moving to what is so
Right.
comfortable and then
Yes.
moving into, oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't actually have anything ready and set for me to go. So many people will
Yeah.
move from a job to a job and that's
Mhm.
okay. But when you're
Right.
independent and you're moving from job to now you're going to be
Complete
free,
independence. Yeah.
independent contractor. What did that feel like? Or were you so sure
I
in
was so sure.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
no, we all have fear. We all have those times where we've got to step over that threshold of change
mm,
and growth. There were people in my past that I could not bring forward into my future with the ideas that I had for my goals in my life. And so there was, that transition of, I don't want to say it was sadness, but there was a time where I've always kind of been a blinders girl, my blinders
yeah,
on. I really don't pay a lot of attention to the news, and it's always sunny in my day, and I wake up happy. And so going through that process, locking in some accounts and doing that, that was all new. And then just having the difference in my day, the change of, for 25 years, I showed up, I was there, I
yeah,
did my work, and didn't really have, I was selling a little bit of real estate. What I got my license in 12. So in 18, I had sold, a little bit. I mean, a little bit. It really, where your mind goes is where your business follows.
yes,
So, that was very evident to me during COVID. And I was coaching with you and, have been for many years. And I've always had some type of a coach. And that's been super important to me. Even when I transitioned out of my day job, I call it, into the consulting and real estate. I had a coach and I actually heard her on a podcast we were in the same room together with him in Tahoe. Oh, I can't remember his name. I should know that before, but I heard he had her on, and her whole thing is brave. And so she really helped me walk through that new part in my life for setting up a business, and all the things that I needed help with. We all need help. And she was fabulous. But it came to a point where I moved out of that with her, and I needed somebody really more focused in real estate during the transition.
So what I've actually noticed recently, and it just came to me the other day. I noticed that there seemed to be more males getting coaches than females.
Oh, that's interesting.
And what I've noticed is, and I think, you and I even have talked about this before where, I think it's possible. I don't want to make like a judgment statement or something that's factual, but I feel like women will think twice when they have to invest in themselves because they're always thinking the family first, right? And what do I have to provide for other people? And I feel like because they've been in that role for so long, sometimes it's hard to invest that money back into themselves and their career.
Great point.
So I love the fact that you said that you've always had a coach, because I think you've realized all through these years of even being a consultant, how important and how life-changing and work-changing it can be for people.
Yes.
Why reinvent the wheel when there's somebody who can just show you
and show and bounce ideas off of.
And also, I think, take us out of our own minds sometimes.
It does. And you have done that so many times for me, with me. And it's a process, and we're all trying to figure it out, and we're all, doing our thing. And when you can go to somebody and just say, what do you think about this? Or what should I be doing now? And I like accountability. If I know I have to be at the gym, at 7 because that's the time, I'm there. Right. Yeah. So I learned that early on, that it was important for me that if I was going to do things, I like having that person checking on me.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's just dive in. You transition now into real estate sales, and you haven't done it in years. I'm sure you advised people on, best practice and so on, but it's so different when you're now turning it back on yourself. And where do you begin, right? Where do you begin with the branding? How do you create this marketing persona now? And then, of course, there's social media. And now things have to be shared on social media, which not everyone is comfortable with, especially.
Right.
And sometimes it's just because your job didn't require social media, So tell us a little bit about that, what that was like those first maybe 6 months, and kind of coming around to the process of figuring all of that out.
Right. Well, like anybody, it is a process trying to, I'm with a broker, I'm trying to do my thing, and so much work. It was really done with you. I mean, a lot of what we talked about, like my core beliefs and what's important to me, and what do you think? Why do people do business with you? And, doing that transformational work came out of, my whole thing is I care. And we left one of the meetings, and I said, I'm going to do a billboard. And so I was like, I'm doing a billboard. I don't know what it's going to say, but you know what? I'm going to make an impact. And that was the goal of the billboard. I didn't want it to say I sell real estate. And so,
well, why don't I stop you there? Why? And that's what
I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. So I don't want to advertise myself as everybody else. So,
but don't you feel like, and this is what we talked about when we talk about branding, it has to reflect you.
Yes.
And when I think of Leah Ackerman, I think of someone who truly cares about people. And that's the whole point behind branding and marketing is, who are you? And let everyone else know that. But how do you do that? And
Yeah.
who you are is not I sell real estate. That's just what you do, but
Right.
it's not who you are.
That's exactly right. And it evolved. I mean, it was something we had gone to a Cheplack meeting and I was like, I'm going to do a billboard. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I need to, because I have a passion for charity and
Mhm.
helping people. And so, how do you take all that and put it together? When COVID happened and we were on lockdown, but we were essential, I was out of the house. Everybody else was, had to be here, but I could be selling real estate, seeing people, all that. And I'll never forget, I was driving to our church to drop off some food, and they have, storage bins outside, and it just like came to me, and I know there was a purpose behind it, but
See, this is you. This is all you because you speak from the heart. And to everyone listening now or watching, this is what I want you to understand is that people need to experience you. And so many people put on this persona on those billboards, which is ridiculous because the person who shows up at the door is either going to be that persona, which means they could be very cold, or someone shows up at the door and they're like, well, who are you? Oh, well, I'm the person on the billboard. No, you're not. And this is the branding that becomes false almost. And it's people wonder why they don't
it's not
have
working.
these long relationships with their clients and they wonder why they're not getting referrals
Mhm.
and all of these things. It all ties into, are you truly being who you
Yeah.
say you are you authentic, are you genuine? And you are in everything that you do. There's no one else coming out, it's just Leah. And you are Leah in everything that you do, and even now that you have your daughter joined you,
Yeah.
it's still the same thing. And you are both different personalities when it comes to
Right.
real estate,
Right.
completely,
Mhm.
but you each appreciate each other and what you each bring to the table.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
so you're driving and you're
So
dropping
I'm
food,
driving. Okay, I
which
got my
is
act
just
together.
like the tip of the iceberg of all the things that you have now done under this umbrella
Yes.
of eye care. So tell us, yeah, keep
Yeah.
going on that.
So, okay, I got my act together. It really was just that moment. It was that aha moment, like, wow, this makes sense. This is what I should be doing. And
Yeah.
I decided that I would reach out to my clients. We're all sitting at home, not talking to each other and or seeing each other. So I thought I can do a food drive.
Yeah.
I can go and see all my people, say hi from the yard, pick up some food.
And
And
remember, this is all during COVID, so
this is
there's
all during COVID.
distancing and
Yes.
the
So
whole
yes,
thing going on.
we are
Yeah.
completely on lockdown. And then we had some client parties, appreciation parties at a local DIY, create your own signs that you put on the walls and stuff like that. So I reached out to her, Jen, and I said, Jen, how's it going? How you doing? She goes, well, I had to let everybody go. And it's just my mom and I. And I said, well, how can we help? Like, I'm thinking I want to take something to my clients and pick up some food. So that's how it started. And she said, oh, I can create little DIY packets with paint. And so we personalized all of these, like over 75 bags. She helped put them all together with us. And then Elisa and I drove around and dropped this stuff off, and we would let people know the day before. It was a huge, huge thing for clients, for us.
Why don't you speak to, because I remember you telling me about it, their reaction.
Oh, well, we
Because
did a video. If you go online, if you go to YouTube,
so
or
YouTube under your name, Leah Ackerman.
under Leah Ackerman or I Care Home Group. It's on Facebook too, but they're they could not believe it because I didn't tell them I was dropping off anything. I just said, I'm going to be in your neighborhood. I'd love to get food. If you have some extra food that we can take, we will take it to the shelters and all the different places. People were just blown away. They were looking for things to do. it did I really plan it all out, Catherine? I don't think I did. It just kind of started to fall into place.
Yeah.
And then it was our last name is Ackerman. And our text message for Brock, Liz, Todd, and I is the ACK Pack. And outgrew this ACK Pack gives back, and we hashtagged
I
it.
love
And
that.
and now what's happening is clients will say to us, how do we become a part of the ACK Pack gives back?
Oh my
And I'm like, well, it
goodness.
just happens
Wow.
automatically.
Yes.
So, it grew into something that I was not expecting. I mean, I was just trying to help.
Yeah.
I'm not a sit on the couch Netflix person. We talk about I wasn't dressed up like this every day, but pretty much I was like still working, still putting
Yes.
my head down, doing my thing. And
And you know what I'd really like to comment or focus on is that it wasn't some massive grand gesture where you booked out a whole movie.
yeah,
Like, it was the first thing. But this is what so many people and agents don't understand. It's the thought. Everyone is locked in at home and
yeah,
can't see anyone. And you just show up with something for their kids to do.
yeah, yeah,
It was so
yeah,
simple, but yet
yeah.
so
Timely, it
yes,
was,
yes,
yeah.
so timely.
But I was just helping out my friend who had
Yeah.
her own business,
Yep.
and it just morphed. And I think that's when we can internalize and really look into our heart first, not
Yes.
into the business of what it's going to bring us. It's just, I wanted to bring
Yeah.
joy to people. We continue to do that. That's,
Yeah.
that's our
And
goal.
it's coming back to that one line, which
Mhm.
give and you shall receive, but you're
Yeah.
not waiting to receive. You were
Right.
just giving because you wanted to do something
Yep.
for your people.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us now then, how has business evolved? Because I do remember introducing video to you and you were like, "Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know."
Mhm. Yep. Yep. So we have continued. Video has been great. We do it on all of our listings. We're still working. We're working through the other different stuff. I struggle with the social media aspect on my personal life. There's no secrets there. You know, posting out things. And I think, I can talk about this now, but when Brock was little, Brock is on the autism spectrum. I was a 26-year-old mom, and nobody knew back then about autism. And
Mhm,
so I'm working out of that and
mhm,
evolving into sharing people our story of our family, and
mhm.
that's coming, and we're doing an autism walk
Oh,
this
wonderful.
October, and we're super excited about it.
I love that.
Um, so the ACK Pack gives back. We'll all come together. We'll do the walk for Autism Speaks in October in Columbus, and so through that, I can see myself transforming
Yes.
to allowing a little bit.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just been a private life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I think it's really important that people understand that you don't have to open the door to your life. I think it's just spotlighting that I am
Mhm.
a person with a
Yeah,
family,
yeah,
and I think that's really, really the key.
yeah. For
I don't think that you have to show your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between. You know,
Sure,
that's
sure.
just, again, it's just letting people in. If you're a coffee drinker, you just show a cup of coffee. I think
Right.
it's just glimpses of I'm a
Mhm.
person just
Yeah,
like you are, and
yeah.
it's the relatability of everything.
Sure.
Um, your videos have evolved, and anyone watching this, you have to go and watch Leah's videos. They're not
Yeah.
complicated, they're not long. It's a
Mhm.
lovely introduction, but what comments have you received since you've been using video as an introduction? Do people feel
Yeah.
like they know you? Do people feel like
Yes.
they can experience you before they've even
Yes.
met you?
For sure. For sure. That has definitely helped. The feedback we get from everybody is just absolutely amazing. We got one last night from our seller, and she said, y'all, the video for my condo was amazing. So first class, and to you can't do that with just posting it, out.
I actually want to stop right what you just said.
Yeah.
Your video was first class.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference between dancing down a driveway and almost and I am going to be a little bit judgmental now, and almost making a mockery of your, the house that you're selling, or literally showcasing it like a first class professional.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, and that's what you do. You give respect to the home that you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
And they're simple, they're not complicated videos, but it's just, and I think that's something that is really important, is that when you are developing a brand or you're marketing, again, it's an extension of who you are. So what do you want to show people out there? You always have the option. You can dance down the driveway, but then that's just a reflection of how you will keep with the rest of the transaction.
Yes. And I'm not a Facebook Live kind of person. I'm at the house, all that. It's just not my style. So, maybe someday we'll get into that style. But right now we're staying in our lane with putting the content and then sending it off to be professionally edited and, do that.
So I would love to bring up the billboard.
Yes.
Because I found that amazing, what happened. And you had only had it up for a very short period of time. So tell us what happened with that.
Yeah. So the billboard, I don't have one to show, but the billboard just says, I care. And you, Katharine, you and I worked on that for it just, bless your heart for just hanging in there with me. Cause I was, what do you put on a billboard? How do you go about saying what you want to say? And you were my affirmation that said, do it. Yes, this is so good. This is you. And my number one goal with this billboard was to make people smile. It was to make people like, when they see it, just take a moment to say, well, if she cares, maybe I care, and maybe I can make a difference in people's lives. And it worked. And so it goes back up. I think it's right in front of an elementary school and around, it's not too far from where we live. It goes back up, I think, in a week or two. And it just says, I care, with my photo, a little bit of it.
But you had someone reach out to you.
Oh, yeah.
And that was amazing.
People, yes. I thought, it's fun to go someplace, and you've experienced this too, where people are like, how do I know you? And it's like, I'm kind of on a billboard. That's why you're seeing my face and knowing. But, the billboard only helps with the recognition in the brand.
Yes.
It comes with the videos and, the activity that is around it. When people come up and say, I think I know you. And then I'll say, well, do you live around this street? And they're like, yeah. I said, well, that's me. And I did have like a news person reach out. I mean, it has really
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's amazing because the period of time from the I Care billboard going up to that news reporter reaching out to you was like a month.
It wasn't that long. I know and so it's just an area, and we have roundabouts. I don't know if you have, but we have roundabouts here, and it's right by the roundabout. So you have to kind of slow down, and I'm right there. And she says, I drive past your billboard every day, and I just had to reach out and meet you. Like, I can tell you have something about you. And there's many stories, and it's just really, people said, I smiled today because I saw your billboard, and that's what matters to me. Yeah. The business will come. That the idea was to, build the brand, but it really was that, like, okay, make people smile and take a moment. So we've built everything around I Care. We transitioned from Leah Ackerman to Eye Care Home Group.
Let's speak to that because so
Yeah.
many people are so worried that if they remove their name from their
Yes.
team, that
Yeah.
people won't know who they are anymore.
Right. Hmm.
So, what was your thought process behind that? And was that not a
Yeah.
concern for you?
Uh, yes and no. I mean, there's always that. And I still, we're advertising, we're doing supporting a charity golf outing that's near and dear to our hearts. And it's the Eye Care Group, home group. And it's like, well, people don't know who that is. So, working with our marketing team to still keep the Leah Ackerman,
Mhm.
um, but the Eye Care home group is really what we want to be.
Yes.
Um, our daughter, Alyssa's in this with me. I'm not afraid of I'm not anybody special. The Eye Care home group can do so much more as a group instead
Yes.
of just my name individually. And I don't need my name on everything.
Yeah.
It just didn't. So I'm not too concerned about it. In the videos, I say my name. I say the group. So that's reiterated.
Right.
And
Yes.
um, I think in time it'll transition. We are still in that process. The billboard is going to stay I care until we can get everything kind of figured out. And for a while I was stressing about it and I thought it doesn't matter. You're
No,
fine.
you're
So
fine. So, how would you say business has evolved since you started this whole new adventure into sales?
yeah.
How have you seen your business scale?
So from 2018, 19, and then really from 20 on, we have grown in leaps and bounds. But it doesn't come without hard work. I mean,
Yeah.
we can sit here and talk and it's like the brand and all that, but this, we're working at night, we're working in the morning, we're working all the time. And my struggle, one of my challenges is really putting the parameters, like it's important for me to be with family and to do certain and to be where I need to be.
Mhm.
And to be able to balance that, get in rhythm with that. And that's probably the biggest thing that I have been able to overcome with the growth is the rhythm that I have. And when I'm home, when I'm in Columbus, Ohio, I am busy and I'm putting people into contracts and I'm doing this. And I, put it out for when it's going to close. I'm usually home for that. And the other times I'm with my parents or I'm, where I feel I need to be at the time. And that
Mhm.
that has taken a while to get into that,
Yes. Yeah.
and it's working. But you have to work at it. It's
Well,
not
and that's exactly what was about to come out of my mouth is you
yeah,
have to work at
to
this
work
time
it.
management, choice management, and you also have to decide that there are going to be boundaries, you
Yeah.
know? And I think the word leverage is
Mhm.
also really needed because you need
Right.
people to help you. You
Yes.
cannot accomplish what you're doing on your own.
No, no. And I early on, I mean, I managed people for years and years and years. So I knew I got to a point and it wasn't too far into this real estate process that I thought, I want to be with the people. I don't want to be with some of this other task type stuff. And I give glory to the people that love to do that because
Yeah.
we all need those people if you're like me in my life. It I probably brought somebody on before I really needed that person, but for me, I knew if
Yeah.
I could leverage this and have somebody focused on that part of it, then I could go do other things. And so I continue to look at my business to figure out. We just hired an admin that will soon, she's doing great. She's reminding me and reminding Lisa of stuff that we need. And we're going to go to, that next step to continue to really support the people that we're doing business with, the buyers and sellers.
And I think that maybe these are some of the mistakes that people make is, a lot of agents think, well, I just need more leads and I need more clients. Well, no, actually, maybe you need to fix some systems and processes because if you have more leads, because your business picked up so much, like, it was like 6 months to 6 months to 6 months, it just kept, really scaling higher. And it's sometimes not just about to keep adding people. It's, well, what are we doing with all of these leads? Like, and it's like you said, I know I'll be here for a closing, but that closing has to be written down somewhere. And,
Right.
Everything it has to work like clockwork in
Yes.
order for a person to achieve that balance that they need. You can't find freedom if things aren't structured. The
That's
two
right.
don't go
They
together.
don't go together at all.
Amazing as that is, that these are two opposites, structure and
Yeah.
freedom, you
Mhm.
actually need structure to achieve freedom.
That's right. That's right. And when Elissa came on full time, she's definitely more of a systems person. She has more of Todd's personality, which I love.
Yes.
She's my Excel girl, whatever. And she would constantly say, Leah, what's in your head? Because I was just doing my thing, right? And that process of taking it out of my head and saying, this is the process by which we take a listing, the process by which we connect with people and the follow and all that stuff. It was close to a year before she even started to sell or do anything. I just said, get us organized. Like, I'm organized, but when we start to, bring her in and like, who do you call for photos? Who do you call? Like all that I had up here, but getting it down
So
on
you
paper.
you both are the epitome of the visionary and the integrator, right?
Yes. Yes.
You are the person that
Yeah.
knows what needs
Mhm.
to be done and what that looks like. And then you hand it off to Liz, who's amazing at it, and say, okay, now
Mhm.
put that all into
Right.
what structure should
Yeah.
that look like? And
Yes.
and she loves doing that.
She
So it's
does.
this
Yeah.
beautiful a
Mhm.
collaboration between the two of you, because I
Yeah.
don't think everyone working with family, mothers and daughters or fathers and sons, whatever that is, I don't think it's always easy. But I
Right.
think it's actually really good that the two of you have these completely separate
Yes.
strengths.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you have butt heads every now and then because of the different ways of thinking.
Sure. Well, we're talking all the time, so I think that
Yeah.
that's a normal thing that happens. When you talk to our clients, they think that they're talking to me and it's really her. And so she's heard everything,
Yes.
she sat across from me and has listened for years. I mean, for years,
Yeah.
just my speech pattern and what I say and how I say it and, all those things. And, my goal has always been to not have any surprises
Mhm.
through the process
Yeah.
with my clients. I don't want my clients to ever go to closing like I've seen in the past.
Mhm.
And they don't know, any of their documents or the money they're getting, if they're sellers or, all that is preparation for the day.
Yeah.
And being able to just play it out with them
Mhm.
is so big. And I learned so much because I was on the other side when, throughout the years with agents and I just picked up so much, these are the good things. These are
Yes.
the things I really want to focus on. And
Yeah.
I think that's why I am who I am and the
Yeah.
way I do my business. So,
I love that. Well, you have done amazingly, and I can only imagine.
With your help, with your help.
It was my pleasure because it never really felt like work when we were working together. It
Yeah.
was just this conversation, and I think sometimes you just need a person to give you a different perspective.
Yeah.
I see what I would say to you, I understand what you're thinking, but what if you
Yeah.
looked at it this way?
Mhm.
And sometimes we just need to step out and say, well, you know what? I hadn't thought of it like that, but
Right.
yeah, that might be something as well. And I think that this is why if people found the right coach, it doesn't have to be this regimented, structured. Now, this is what we're doing next week. It's no, I'm here to help pull out what's in your head and help really just
And you
make you
And you
better,
do
make
it
you.
so well, Katharine, because we've all been in coaching sessions and with or I know I have, and I know you have. And so many times it is, well, what are you going to do next week? And how are you going to do, and you are different. And I've told you, your superpower is coaching. I mean, you you listen and you take the time to hear and help process. I knew that I care was in me, but I'm like, can it really just be my brand? Like, is that okay?
I would think about your brand in the shower. I'd be like, oh, and put scenario. I'm like, no, she has to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it because yeah, and so it was fun. It felt like a collaboration and not and I will be back. Right now we're working on a new website and we're doing things that sometimes all of this can be overwhelming. And I know myself now that if I get myself in overwhelm, I it just nothing really works. So we are focused on these things.
I love that you are aware of that, because I think that so many people who are, scaling their business or trying to scale into a team or whatever, they do try and take it all on at the same time. And overwhelm will lead you to doing nothing, because you almost, I think you get to a point where you just stop and
Yeah.
you're like numb,
Yes.
and you can't even think clearly anymore. Like there
Mhm.
are no ideas becoming, because you've built
Right.
this. I don't know what it is, but it's
Yeah.
almost like you live in a cloud. I've been there.
Yeah.
When I had my
I know.
brokerage, there were
Yeah.
times where it
Right.
just gets to be so much where you
Mhm.
freeze and you can't do anything.
Yes, yes. And it's been great to bring Elissa in because she's more the techie, she's more system. I'm the visionary. I want, like, I see all this stuff and let's do it.
Yeah.
But I've learned over the years that I am just better off, get this done, focus on this, and then let's move on. So it might take us a little longer to race around the track, but I want to finish strong. That's the goal, but I don't need to run the race as fast as possible. So
Yeah.
um, you
But
know,
but that's creating
that's
something
called age.
wonderful. No, I think it's like ultimately, what is the deadline? Who's putting a deadline on people in their business?
Right,
You
right.
know,
I think we all do it ourselves and we shouldn't, it
yeah,
really
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
doing all the right things, it should play out. And sometimes you just have to do something. And that's how the billboard started. And I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And we did. And it's
Well, I
been
think everything happened as it should, right? It was the ACPAC gives back. And then you realized
yeah,
that's really the direction. And then the next natural thing was, well,
yeah,
this is who we are. And
yeah.
then that next natural thing will be whatever. But I think you'll find, as you continue to grow, which you will also continue to attract the right people,
Yes.
because your
Yeah.
message will be
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
strong,
Yeah.
and they will
Yeah.
have experienced that message, that the
Mhm.
people who aren't in alignment with that message won't even step forward.
Yeah. And that's so you're always trying to figure out who is your audience, how do you play to that? That is a constant, especially when you're starting out, because
Mhm.
everybody's like, you'll attract the people that you are. And I have over my life, I've worked with great people and I believe that's a reflection on me. Like, just I'm attracting those people. And it's been great to just stay in my lane, just I am who I am. And you know, if I'm not a transactional realtor, I don't grow my business that way. We are relationship based. And when you can get to that point where you decide this is who I am, it's so freeing.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
That's amazing. So I have one last question, and it's just a question to you. What is something I haven't asked you today
Uh,
that you would like to touch on?
mm,
Or
yeah.
what is a one final message that you might like to leave people?
Yeah. Life is, it has its ups and downs and its challenges. We can all get caught up in life. And when we can take ourselves away from, you know, our thoughts
Mhm.
about life and just live life, just be present,
Yeah.
um, where you are with people. I think so many times, and as I'm aging, I'm realizing that
I'm aging right along with you.
I know, girl, we are. Just the future, like just live for today. And I know that sounds so cliche, but I think when I was younger, it was all, once I'll get to this point and I'll get to that point, and I'm all about the chase. I love, working and all of that. But I think there comes a point I know that I have experienced that it's like, I'm still chasing, but I am enjoying more. And that's
Well, you're also
probably
chasing on your terms,
yes,
which is
yeah,
a whole
enjoying
different
it. That's
ballgame.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's younger. It was just, head down, do, do, do. And I am definitely doing that, but it's a different feeling now. And probably if I had to go back, I'd be like, just settle down a little bit. You're in your 30s. Don't think that everything has to be done right now. And
Mhm.
and so that's probably my parting thought. It's probably not the best, but
Well, I think it is,
kind of.
because I think it's what so many people
But
I think
take
a
care
lot
of
of
each
people
other,
think that they're invincible, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it'll, "Oh, I've got so much time." Well, you do and you don't,
Yeah.
and so I think
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, I'm all about, like, just really appreciate what's happening right now, and
Right.
where your
Right.
business is right now,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
just have the intention of where you wanna go in that clarity,
Yes.
and it will
Yeah.
happen.
Yes. And you touched on something that that whole it slowed down, we're nervous, this whole thing. I
Mhm.
don't buy into it anymore. I work my business. I take care of the people I'm working with.
Mhm.
And when I'm slow, I know that's a sign that I need to slow myself
Yeah,
down and just take a
yeah.
moment and be thankful
Mhm.
for some of that, just to recharge batteries,
Yes.
and then go again. But that's a balance or
Yeah.
for the
I
whatever.
mean, this is what I do now. I do
Yeah.
not put an alarm anymore. My
Yeah.
body, when
Yeah.
it's fresh,
Mhm.
it'll wake up at 5:30 or 6.
Yes.
There are
Yeah.
mornings like this morning, it slept till 7:40 because it was
You needed
tired.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've
Mhm.
allowed I've allowed
Yes.
myself to
Right.
just accept that. You know
Mhm.
what, Catherine? You're
Mhm.
tired. Your
Yeah.
body's tired. It obviously needs a rest. Or
I
the days that
agree.
I don't, because usually I'm pretty motivated. And the days that I'm not,
Right,
I just say, you know
right.
what? It's
Yeah,
okay. And it's
right.
hard when you've been a person like we are, where you are very much a go-getter and we're always energized.
Yeah,
Those times when our body is saying, no,
yeah,
listen, you need to
yeah.
slow down.
And I'm listening more to that. Yes,
Yes.
definitely
Yeah.
listening more to that because, smile on the face, charging through every day. And we still have those days, but I am more at peace
Yes.
with what is happening and just being at
And the business doesn't actually slow down when you actually pause, does it?
no,
When
it
you are
does.
more at
Yeah,
peace,
yeah,
business will actually get better
I know.
because you are there with
Yeah,
people and they don't feel
yeah,
like you resent
yeah,
what you're doing or you're
right.
tired of them, or
Yeah,
they
right.
won't feel that at all.
No, no, and I truly love people and I love helping people through their situations and having the knowledge to help in so many different ways through whatever they're going through.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, I love that about the business.
Well,
So
you are Leah Ackerman. I
I
care.
care.
So
Yes,
it really
yes.
is
Yeah.
there is no other brand that could have described you better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this has been a wonderful hour together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
I'm so glad
Katharine.
that people get to experience you, because if they're not in Columbus and they don't see the eye care billboard, I wanted them
Yeah.
to know who this beautiful friend of mine is, because you have such a big heart, but you have never wavered in who you are. As long as I've known you, this is who you've been. And I love that you have managed to translate that into your business, because that is not an easy thing to do. And you've done it
Right.
with a lot of grace. And so
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I carry my heart on my sleeve and it's just who I am. I can't change it. I'll cry at a drop of a hat. I get emotional with my clients, like it's all part of it. And it's just who I am.
where can people look you
Yes.
up, find you, follow
Mhm.
you, find these
Yeah.
wonderful things that you're doing for your community,
Yeah.
your clients? How can they find you?
Yes. So social media, it is I Care Home Group. My website is in the process of being switched over to I Care Home Group, but it's currently leahackerman.com.
Mhm.
And if you still just Google Leah Ackerman and we have switched it, we're going to be forwarding that website to the new website. So thank you, Katharine, for your
Thank you.
time. It's
It's been
always
wonderful.
a pleasure. You're one of my faves in my life.
Ah, all right. Well,
All
good
right.
luck. And I know you're going to
Thank
have
you.
a
I'll
wonderful,
see you in October.
yes,
See
in
you in October.
Atlanta, the Sales Mastery event.
Yes. So
Excellent.
excited. So
All
excited.
right.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.